Welcome to Wilmot's Warehouse, where it's your job to do things and then remember what you've done. You'll play cooperatively as a team, receiving products throughout the working week that you'll then store somewhere within the dark of the warehouse. And so you'll need to work together to come up with clever ways of remembering where you've put things. Can you use fun stories and silly ideas to trick your brain into remembering things for you? All whilst working in the conditions of a rather poorly lit warehouse? Fantastic! Just sign here, here, and here, and now let's set up the game. Place the board somewhere sensible, and then take tiles out of the bag until you have 5 different stacks of 7 face-down tiles. Place those stacks at the bottom of the board, 1 for each day of the week. And those are your expected product deliveries for the whole week, except management have stuck their oar in and they've got some mandatory ideas for you to try. Place a mandatory idea card face down atop each day's stack of products, except for Monday, because Mondays are already hard enough. Place all of the customer cards face down in a pile next to the board, although we've sort of staggered ours in a little staircase just to make it more visually pleasing. You can do that too, it doesn't matter. Next, it's time to identify the most enthusiastic player at the table. That person will be the starting shift supervisor. In the event that nobody at the table feels enthusiastic about playing, simply stop what you're doing and go and do something else. Everyone else, though, let's play. Each day, players will take it in turns to be the shift supervisor, taking a tile from today's stack and then ultimately having the final say about where that tile goes. But before that, the whole team is going to decide, what is this? Do we give it a name? Do we connect it to other things we've already placed in our warehouse by coming up with some sort of classification system? Or do you cook up a story that helps you and your team remember where it was in relation to other things? It's up to you. It's not my job. It's your job. You sign the contract. And as I mentioned, in the event that you can't decide where it goes as a team, the supervisor gets the final say using the age-old system of, well, I'm the one holding it. The rules for placing these product tiles are simple. The very first one has to go in the center of the warehouse. After that, new tiles just need to go next to ones you've already placed, in one of the 4 traditional directions: up, down, left, or right. No diagonal business here. This is a warehouse. 90 degrees? Yes. Yes, please. Finally, once you've decided where a tile goes, you flip it over. Once you've done that, nobody is allowed to look at that tile for the rest of the game. In order to remember where you've placed everything, so you can work out where to place all of these new things, you'll find it helpful to use some of these systems. You can use stories. For example, we've got a piggy using a snorkel so they can explore the Arctic. And this, of course, is the North Pole, because it's up, north. You can also use the relative positions of the tiles to create places. Here we've got a campsite underneath the moon, and off to this side it's a cafe serving hot soup, and over here, the place where the soup eventually goes. Or you can just tidy up the warehouse in terms of categories. So over here we've got our food things, egg, mayonnaise, cake, and then this is sort of the knitting zone. Players take it in turns, clockwise, to draw a tile, discuss it with everyone else, and then place it somewhere in the warehouse. Once all of the product tiles in today's delivery stack have been drawn, discussed, and placed, it's the end of the day. At this point, you can take as long as you like to discuss what you've placed, where, and why, and don't move on until everyone is happy to do so. Make yourself a cup of tea, have a chat to your co-workers. Any breaks longer than 15 minutes are in breach of your contract. But before you jump into your next day at work, the supervisor will flip over the mandatory idea card on top of today's stack of products. Read the card aloud to your team, and then do your best to follow these unexpected instructions. This has come all the way from head office, which means you have to do it, even if it seems annoying, unhelpful, or contradicts the rules of the game. If you fail to follow the instructions on a mandatory idea card, don't worry. There's no direct penalty. Just be aware that your co-workers might start to look at you differently. It's all in the contract. Then you're going to repeat this for every day of the week until you've finished Friday and placed all of the week's products. Then, before you can go home, there'll be a rush of customers. Each customer will turn up wanting one specific product. Some you'll have in stock, some you won't. Roughly divide the stack of customer cards so that each player has a bunch in front of them. And then set a stopwatch to keep track of your team's speed and efficiency. When everyone's ready to start looking through their cards, start the clock and go. Simultaneously, you'll all start looking through your cards, finding customers that want products that you have, placing them on the tile where you think that product is. A lot of the products that these people want won't even be in your warehouse, and you're trying to be quick, so this might end up messy. Even though you each have your own stack of cards to look through, this whole process is still collaborative and open. You can discuss cards, give them to other people, and move them around after they've been placed. You're just a collective mass of hands and brains and eyeballs trying to get 35 customers 35 things. When everyone is satisfied and you've all shouted, "Finished!" stop the clock, and we just flip these over, going back through what we've done. The pasta Vikings, absolute kings of the carbs, with their colander helmets and obviously spaghetti, ravioli on the top. Yep, smashed it, nailed it. For every product tile you didn't match with a customer, add 10 seconds to your final time. And for every tile you matched with the wrong customer, also add 10 seconds. After that, just compare your score to the chart you'll find on the back of the manual and find out just how well you've done. You can also scan the relevant QR code for a little video straight from head office, giving you further feedback on whether your team aced it or if there's still room for improvement. And I bet that the person who stars in those videos is really nice and incredibly attractive. And that's everything you need to know about working in a warehouse. Should you want a week that's a little bit easier, just use 6 tiles a day instead of 7. And either remove difficult idea cards or just skip ones that come up that you don't like. Just pretend you didn't get the email. If you want a tougher time, try 8 tiles a day for a final warehouse that's frankly pretty clogged up. And why not add a mandatory idea card to Monday's stack too? And if you want an experience more grueling than that, then maybe you should get an actual job in an actual warehouse. I say that, you know full well you've already got 3. It's in your contract. You're 45 minutes late for your first shift, actually. You really shouldn't be watching YouTube. Thank you, and good luck.